There. Let's double check everything, see if everything's working. I don't even have the camera plugged in. What am I doing? Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. My audio at least working? Okay, audio's working. So I at least did that part right. Lights on. Coming loose. Plug in the camera. Turn it on and off in the overlay. Or the stream. There we go. There I am. Hi. Buenos dias. Or tardes, actually. It is 6:30 p.m. Well, 6:31 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in my area. East. One second. We're gonna play with the camera for a second, because, I mean, it's only the first 5 minutes. I'm allowed to do that. A little bit of tweaking at the start goes a long way. We're gonna zoom in a bit. Just a little bit. Just a touch. Turn up the exposure by 1. Lower the brightness by hand. A little bit more fine tuning on the brightness. Hold on a second. There we go. Light's a little bit better set up, so I can more accurately tweak this. Tweak. Bring up the saturation. Change the white balance so it's a little bit more orange, but just a little bit of blue. You guys good? Am I centered? Okay. Hi. So today we're gonna keep working on the art piece that I've been started in, I don't know, 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago? How many weeks are we already into this? I think we're 3 weeks in. 4 weeks in. 4 weeks if this is the 4th week. Where's my Chatterino? Hang on just a moment. Did everything else start up correctly? Nope, I forgot to start the program. I have a batch file that just starts everything else on its own. All the programs that I need on its own. But if I forget to click it, it doesn't turn on. It's like the mic wizard, the Chatterino, and then also the snipping program that takes the name of the song that's playing. Alright. Let's see. Where am I? Camera's all set up. Is the audio being correctly shown? Let me pull up the overlay real quick. Yep, okay. So it's pulling the name of the song correctly. I don't know if there's anything else. I think we're all good. Yeah, so we're going to continue working on this. I managed to get pretty much all the line art done in one sitting. There's a little bit of tweaking, because I made a promise to a friend after showing them this work in progress. So, a friend of mine, who I should probably be ping. Let me go and let them know in my Discord. Which you guys will not see, because sharing my Discord would be crazy. Okay, so the thing I promised them was I'm going to add suspenders. It's not a part of his outfit. I think personally, no, I'm not gonna be too critical. I did look it up, just on a whim, and it turns out the lawyers still tend to wear suspenders. So I thought, you know what, suspenders would be a good look. So let me see. Final line art. I'm gonna add it on top of the final line art, so then we can just like smooth it out on its own. I'm gonna turn up the shadows because it's a little distracting and I can't see what I'm working on. Here we go. Why is Chatterino all the way up here? You go down there. Right there. Pencil. I'm gonna be switching between the pencil and the eraser. I don't have my palette set up, so let me grab the right color. There we go. And the only other thing is I'm on the wrong layer, so let's go do that. Here it is. So let's make this like a 16 size brush. Real quick, I probably should have done this before, but I was in a tiny bit of a rush. Not too much, but just a tiny little bit. I hope it's not gonna pull up anything weird, but let's look up like, oh wait, never mind, here we go. Here's like a strong, muscular looking guy. Suspenders look weird. Sorry, I'm just looking up a good reference for like suspenders. There's a few different ways they do them. They're like typically designed. I think I'm just gonna go with like the normal hooks. Maybe the clips. I definitely don't want to do the ones that look like they split into two. Like they're like actual bands that pull them up. Those look kind of weird. They look more like BDSM gear to me. I'm thinking either clips or the like actual like little hooks. Hooks are a little too much. We're gonna go with the like just regular clips. I feel like that's just simpler and just feels just looks better to me. I don't want like super complex hooks. I'm not trying to make them like a focal piece. I'm not sure if I'm using focal the right way, but we're gonna act like I am. Where did it go? Like second loop or first loop? Okay, it looks like just after the first one, so right here. Then I'm gonna go for like a straight line starting from like the fattest part of his chest, the meatiest part of his chest, which would be like right here. On both sides. I'm gonna put this down so I can focus on just the... I forgot what they're called. Suspenders. I already forgot what they were called. That was fast. Nope, on the wrong layer. There we go. And then they're gonna be obviously going like behind his shoulders. Do they stay straight? Or are they like right behind the neck? They look like they stay straight. They don't like get like completely, they're not like ties where they go like directly for the collar. Yeah, they just like go like right in the middle of the shoulder, so that's good. Because I think it's gonna look a little too busy if I put it there. Put it like right against his tie. He's already got a lot of competing real estate. You can ride this one a little higher because he's moving his arm up. But I'm wondering how high. I'm thinking maybe we change the position a little bit on this one. Like maybe, let's see, fat part of the chest. Like right there. Like that, right there. So this is clearly a rough. Let's see how, well, hold on. Why is there stuff going through his face? Is that part of the background? Yeah, I think so. Let's see. Is there any way I can smooth this out? Let's do the clips. I keep doing this on the wrong layer. We're gonna have to change the way his clothes wrinkle over there. We could probably just move it to the side a bit. So I'm just gonna do like a simple little metal piece here, and maybe right underneath it, it's like a little twisting mount. Kind of like I don't know if anybody's ever used those like reversible belts where it's like two-sided. But like that's what I'm thinking, where it's just like a hinge or a rod that it twists around on. And then whatever the clamp mechanism is, I'm not sure. Can you see what the clamps? The clamps. Some of these are way too hipstery. Like, I don't hate suspenders, but some of these people are like pushing it. Hey, this is fine. I like this copy image. Hey, this is good. I like the brown shirt. It's nothing crazy. It's just a brown shirt, long sleeved. Maybe the collar being all the way done is a little much for me. Ooh. Ooh. Hold on a second. Oh, my back. Maybe we can take off the tie. Because it might be a little weird just having him with like a tie hanging off. And it does make the chest look a little bit too cluttered. So I don't mind. I'm not like completely digging my feet into the ground on the tie. We can move that. But yeah, some of the pictures I was seeing was like were like people in short sleeved button ups and suspenders, and I was just like, come on, like this is unnecessary. You don't need to go this far. And I like how subtle these like little clips are. Like there's a little bit of decoration with all these like hooks and hinges that I don't think it needs, but it's not like too fat. It's not too noticeable. It's still like a very small little clip. I keep grabbing the wrong brushes. So let's see if we can copy this. I'm gonna bring this down to like a 12. Around a 12. Little metal piece. Little hook. Or I don't know what to call it, these little... I don't want to call them a chain link, but that's kind of like the shape. The exact same shape. Little piece of leather, little button, another little hook. I might just keep it a 2 because this is already getting like too much. Because there's just going to be a third one that's slightly bigger. And I don't want to do that. It just feels silly. I can be given like a little artistic license. If it doesn't have to be an exact copy. So long as it's structurally, it seems like it makes sense. That's all I need. A lot of art is just like giving the vibes of what it is. I mean, this is all an illusion. This isn't even a real person. But it's all about like giving the illusion that it's a real person by like keeping to like a certain sense of anatomy, giving him recognizable features that are noticeably human. And humans are able to like put like a human personality into a lot of different things. I mean, that's why Cars, the movie, exists. It's because like we can like put personalities into things that like are clearly man-made and not even human at all, or not entertaining any kind of like consciousness at all. We're gonna do a philosophical breakdown of the Cars series. I'm gonna do a little button here, just to keep the spirit of the original in there. Why would you do that? Round it out. There we go. Nice little suspenders. I'm just gonna try to get the line a little bit better, a little bit more smooth and connected. I'm gonna thin it down too. There's probably like a much smarter way to get this done, but I am not a smart man. I'm a caveman with a brush, and no one can stop me. So this week I made a few posts. Um, Last week I posted a piece of art that took me a long time to finish. It was the like an iPad piece. I think it was the gory one. I was kind of like inspired by like a lot of sign-in and adult comics, Berserk, Vinland Saga, those kind of really brutal historical comics. Historical. I mean, history inspired, I guess would be fair to say. So yeah, I went for like somebody that was like a victim of a massacre, but like survived because like I don't know, a dragon put a crystal in his heart. If anybody plays Dragon's Dogma. But yeah, just thought it would be like a fun thing to work on. Sometimes I gotta let the edgy teenager come out, let him have some fun. Ooh, need more coffee. And then like halfway through the week, I had not necessarily a mental breakdown, but more of like I read a book by Zoe Thorogood. I think I already put it away, but it's Lonely Here at the Center of the Earth. It was one of those comics about like people who have a lot of what's it called? Self-deprecation, insecurity, imposter syndrome, all those things. And then like a lot of stuff that resonated a lot with me, like the thinking that like you're so self-important because like you're choosing to focus on yourself, and like trying to figure out like where the line is on like focusing on yourself because you're self-important and then focusing on yourself because you're trying to take care of yourself. Then like a lot of like depression and things like that, just dealing with a lot of that while also trying to have a career, because they're the writer who's writing about themselves is an artist and a writer. But yeah, it was a very fun comic. I liked all the little cute illustrations they had, and then all of the like really esoteric and edgy. I'm not sure if edgy is the right word. There's probably a better word for it. Grim illustrations that they included, because it felt very like real. It felt very it felt like something I could connect to a lot, where it's kind of just like switching between like a completely positive outlook and then like a completely just dour and broken outlook. I think that's something that like a lot of people go through, even if they aren't artists, like imposter syndrome and things like that. They just don't feel like worthy of like the attention of people around them, and so they kind of like just like make themselves a lot more secluded. Anyways, the reason I bring it up is because my second post was in reaction to that. I decided to make a little cartoon illustration of myself, which I don't know if it's I don't know. I don't think I have it out, but yeah, I have like I did like a little chibi version of myself to play around with a bit. Mainly because I've always hated like pictures of myself. I think a lot of people have that. But like I actually like avoided pictures pretty successfully for like a lot of my teenage years. Not perfect. I show up in like newspapers sometimes because I was also part of like a big art group in school. But otherwise, yeah, I would tell the teachers to avoid taking pictures of me. My friends, I asked to avoid taking pictures of me. And then like I would always hate myself drawing myself. Like I drew myself occasionally just for like group pictures or like funny memes. But like I always hated it because there's a lot of like I guess like self-hatred is what would be most accurate. Lack of confidence, all that just like jumbled into one big mess. And eventually I got over that. Like I had to like come to reckoning with it after being confronted about it by like a friend. And then it took like a lot longer to really like evolve that idea, like understanding like the idea that I need to care about myself. I came to me in like high school, but like it would take like years before like I legitimately started to like appreciate aspects of my personality and just realize like I am what I am and be okay with that. And even like some aspects of to it, because no one's perfect. It's okay to like have parts of yourself that you're not entirely enamored with, but You know, if there's legitimate flaws that you think are detrimental to yourself and people around you, then you should fix those. But also realizing some of them are just fun little quirks that are just you, and you should be okay with it. So it was like a lot of that being bundled into like a little chibi drawings and of depressed versions of me, because I mean, I think I often think of myself as a depressed little gremlin. And yeah, I think it helped me just get through it during the week. After, you know, like reading that comic and have like having a lot of those feelings. I think it helps sometimes to just like put the emotions out on the paper. Even if it's like goofy little drawings about a depressed little me. Yeah, I was really happy with that one. And it actually got like a really positive response from like Instagram. Like a lot of people ended up like giving me likes and everything for it, which I wasn't expecting. Like I was expecting it to, you know, do 0 numbers, because it was just me being like losing my mind for a second and being a little bit more open than I like being usually. I'm not like uncomfortable with it being emotional, but you know, like the imposter syndrome. I don't feel like I'm worth that, you know. Like celebrities can open up about themselves, and everybody's like really invested in like every aspect of it because they can relate to it. But me, just a little guy, just a little goblin. So you know, thinking that I had like anything I could indulge myself like that didn't come naturally. But I'm glad I did, and it seemed to have resonated decently well. You know, it didn't like get millions of likes or anything, but it got enough that it made me happy. It made me feel a lot better about myself, which again, not healthy. You know, it's Instagram, it's an algorithm, but you know, take what I can. If no one gave me likes, I probably would have been fine with it anyways, because you know, like it's a self-reflection kind of thing. The things I do for random requests by my friends. I don't know if they just really like suspenders, but I think it's the like gruff. He almost looks like a gruff detective. It reminds me of Bigby, I think his name is, in the Wolf Among Us, and the Fable series specifically. Let me double check that. Bigby Wolf. I just realized it's Bigby because Big Bad Wolf. Big B Wolf. Yes, that is the character. Big B, the big B, the B being bad. That's nice. It's almost like a pun, but it's like, you know what? That's a good one. That's, you know, that one takes at least like more than 2 seconds of thought. Like I was reading like old school Batman comic from the 90s, 80s, somewhere. I think it was the 80s because it was like pretty early in the canon. And there was like a pimp, and his name was Mr. Hat, and I was just like come on. I know it's like a throwaway that was there for like 30 seconds, but I mean, like, you can put a little bit more flavor into it. It doesn't have to be just like the most generic pimp from the 80s that you can think of. But, you know, like they appear for like 2 pages and get knocked out by Batman. So, like, what am I really complaining for? Let me see. Would using the straight line tool help? Just like smooth a little bit of this out. Yeah, that's been my weekend. Just thinking about that. And then I posted it today. A little short thing that I've also been working on. Another tablet drawing because I've been having a lot of fun with the tablets. A small little sketch, or at least it was supposed to be like a very small sketch, but just like a lot of my pieces on here that are supposed to be a lot, just quick little things in between, they ended up becoming this huge thing where I kept adding more and more things to it because I kept having ideas like how would the background look in this drawing, and then like how can I make this even like more impactful or more eye-catching. So a sketch that like I'm supposed to be doing in like one sitting ends up being a multiple sitting, high polish drawing that kind of misses the point, but it's fine. It's fine. All right, I think the suspenders are done. They look pretty good to me. Maybe just a little. Yeah, that way it kind of like matches the tone of the other one because there's this huge black spot here. And rather than just be dark, so they kind of like fade into the background. Maybe give it a little bit of a 3D bevel. Then as it turns towards the chest, it can flatten out. Maybe I should erase the inside of this too. Here we go. Just thin that out a little bit. All right. Ooh. Maybe I should erase that. I'm trying to include the buckle to like keep things even on each side, but I think the arm is just gonna block it, and so like trying to add like the tiniest little bit of the buckle is just gonna look forced and unnecessary. I think it's better to avoid the tangent there. Avoiding tangents isn't really like a law that I abide by because it's like it feels a little bit too theoretical and picky to me. So what it is like whenever you're making drawings, you like make sure that you don't intentionally line up things unless they're supposed to. Hang on, I'm gonna do this on another layer. So let's say here's a house. You have a person right here. And then you have like a tree. You don't want the tree to line up with him because, then it's going to look like they're connected and it's supposed to be like a guy with the tree coming out of his head. So you're supposed to push it to the side and then, like you have the house, the tree, and you have the person, and they're all like separate images and they're completely disconnected. And then, from there you can change the values to push things further in the back, bring it closer to the foreground, whatever you want to do from there. Which I mean, I do to a degree, but like it's like you are supposed to avoid basically any lines touching or like coming together unless they are absolutely a connected piece. And sometimes that can be like a little bit too much for me. But who knows? I'm also not like a master artist who knows everything about art. So maybe me ignoring it is something that's holding me back. I'm gonna keep that line. Let me see. Just trim it. Just like that. Like that. I'm trying to like keep as much of the original line art as I can. Okay, let's see if I can draw it back in. I'm gonna put it to like a 16. I think 16 is good. Erase this little bit thing so I can get the belt loop. Give it a little bit more of a 3D presence. Let's turn off the pants real quick. Trim this down, clean it up. How does it look when it's like fully on? It's a little dark, but I think it still works. Maybe just a little bit of more smoothing out here. Okay. And then how's the other one? I'm gonna... No, that's fine. That's fine. I think we should just erase it. We should just be bold. We should be brave. Do I want to include the tie? I'm gonna do a quick one, a quick little temporary thing to just test things out. Make this an erase. This is what it's gonna look like if I keep the tie. This is what I'm trying to test out. Oop. Stop. Okay, that's not too much work. Okay. How's it looking? Are the suspenders too thin? They are a little thin. We might make them a little bit thicker later. But just to like sit on it and see how we feel about the suspenders and the tie. I might remove the tie. I'm thinking of removing the tie. Thematically, I like the tie because the tie was actually a very conscious design decision. Not only because he's a lawyer, but also because it's supposed to kind of resemble a leash. Because you know, like he's a gangrel, so he's supposed to be a coyote, a wolf, a coyote. I don't know if coyotes are canines, but that's the idea. So having the tie on him is almost like keeping a wolf on a leash. And this is supposed to be him off the leash. So I guess visually it still kind of makes sense. I don't know. What if I add some like flats to it just to feel it out? That's an eraser. What? Oh, it's because I'm using the background color. Okay, then I'm also going to do the tie. Oh, that's an eraser. Maybe the belt too, so we can kind of see how the colors are going to go. Just like a quick one. He's also gonna have some darker pants. I'm gonna keep it as like 40, so I can just like hold it on. There we go. So this is kind of a feel. I like this. Okay. I think we can keep on the tie. I don't think it's too cluttered. We can even make the suspenders a little wider. Just give me a second to look, feel it out. Let me also do his hair. I think I'll add just a little bit more color. Doesn't have to be accurate. Just slapping on some color, seeing how the tones change. Everything else is about as dark as it needs to be on him. Can we do the shadows on top of that just to feel? I don't know if that's gonna like lay on top of it correctly, but we'll see. There we go. So this is where we're going. I guess yeah, it's fine to have the tie on there because like the shirt's gonna be really plain without it because it's just gonna be like a base colored shirt, like a really neutral colored pale blue shirt. Yeah, I'm thinking that's good. I think we're good with the tie on. We're gonna keep it. Okay, back to it. Turn off shadows. We're just gonna throw away this quick flat that I did. I said throw it away. There we go. And throw away this one too. The only one thing I want to do is just go ahead and get the tie on. So I'm gonna take this out of its group. They're gonna delete it. I had some blocks. Okay. So now this is where it's supposed to be. Bring this back down, and then we're gonna make the suspenders a little wider. So let me grab that reference real quick. I'm gonna push you to the side so we can just keep you open. What is happening? Move. Nope. Not everybody, just stay where you are. Just this guy. A lot of them were pretty wide, and these are like the skinniest suspenders I saw. So I'm noticing that like even these are like pretty thick. I have like tiny little ropes for his suspenders right now. Okay. Oop, I'm breathing really hard in the mic. I know I have like a move tool, but that's gonna blur everything out. Just to play with it. Hold on. Yeah, I wish it was just like a way to like warp it without like completely just destroying it. Yeah, it's not the worst thing in the world to just redo the suspenders. Make them a little thicker. How thick were you going? We're gonna go like here, so let's try this way. I'm gonna leave this line, this line on towards the left of the canvas, and we're gonna just mark out how thick I want it. Move this so we can recenter it. So about that thick there. Just gonna keep following along. A little too thick there. And just like a tiny bit thicker here. Just right there. See if we can follow along. We should definitely make this brush a lot smaller. I'm going 12. Yeah, that's a good width. Maybe just thin it out just a touch by like erasing part of it. Straight line tool for curved surface. I am truly a madman. Why in the world is the dog here? Hello? Did you want me to pick you up? Because that's what's gonna happen. Dog. Did you find any food in here? Hey. Leave. He has disturbed my domain. The fact that that dog does not know how to close a door is maybe the worst part about him. It's so rude. There is a single flea just flying about and it is driving me insane. Just like a decimal point just slowly floating around my TV. I'm not losing my mind, you are. There's 2 fleas. There is no God in my domain. Only flea. If there is a God, he mocks me. And I care not for it. Okay. Redone. Well, hold on. Let me fix this button because it's huge. And I don't want it to be too huge. I just want like small buttons. Little rivet. Little guy. Come on. I can do a perfect circle, I promise. It's just I'm nervous. It's actually the fleas. They're like actually the ones that are drawing. It's not me. 1 second. I don't know if flinging my towel at these fleas are gonna do anything, but it's so like irritating right now. Find my center. Inshallah. Okay, that feels like a good fair width for this one on the suspender towards the right of the canvas. The flea's back. I don't think I got it even like remotely, but it knows fear now. No, it doesn't. This entire stream is just gonna be me fighting a flea and losing. Okay. Sorry, I completely got locked down by the flea again. I'm trying to ignore it so bad, but I'm literally a psychopath. Okay. Let's see. The other one should be thicker, but by how much? Because it is at an angle. Oop. Yeah, let's just go ahead and erase this part, actually. By all that is holy, please smite this flea. I try to be respectful of other life forms, but when they're in my house, you're crossing a line, buddy, buckaroo. I'm gonna make it a little bit thinner than the other one, because it's at an angle. Maybe we can do like a 3D like representation. Where it has like a little the edge of it. Hang on a second. Now what if I just blast the fleas with AC? What are they gonna do now? I don't know why I think I can catch a flea. I'm not even like trying to grab it quickly. If they were just anywhere instead of in front of my screen, I wouldn't even care. I think the fleas have finally given up a bit. They have learned their place. I have lied. It's right in front of my microphone. I have no faith in humanity. There is no life. There's no love. But there is flies. Fleas. There we go. I think there's enough of a space to put it here. So instead of just like a tiny little sliver, you can actually see like the corner. Okay, made them a little wider. I think we should be good on that. I think we got a taste of the suspenders. We do like maybe like a little bit of a fold lines on here. You can't really notice any like folds on here like that visibly. I guess maybe like here. Yeah, that's good enough. That's good enough. I don't think we need to spend too much more time on that. Ooh, sorry, my knuckles. My knuckles. Let's bring this back up. I'm gonna erase. Oop. I'm just gonna erase the wrinkles underneath the suspenders. Then we're gonna combine them and then erase all the suspenders under the tie. Does that sound like a plan? Yes, yes it does. Oop, I just realized I was erasing the tie. And the flies returned. Pray for me. Alright, and then we combine them, and now I gotta erase everything under the tie. Ooh, before I do that, let's make this normal. Then we combine them. Where's the layer below? Then we turn them back to multiply. Pop. Now they're the exact same. Now we erase the suspenders underneath the tie. So just follow along the tie. Be careful not to erase anything else. There we go. Then this one only comes out over here. Just cuts into the tie, the suspenders a little bit. Then I think just a little bit of the collar, I remember. Nope. The collar goes over it just a little bit. Just like that. Now I think we're good. Yeah, it's all looking clean. Ooh. Oh, big stretch. All right, suspenders added. Now I think we can do the flats. It only took an hour. Ooh, hold on. Ooh. So let's see, can I do this? I'm gonna just delete these. So, what if we do just the magic wand? Select everything. Outside of him, select invert. And then let's just, I don't know. Dude, grab that color. Yeah, let's just drop that this color in, or well, no, buckle tool. Beep. And then we could just color in the rest by hand because it's not gonna get any. It's like completely open here. So select, deselect, and then let's just try to cleanly do it from here. That's not a fill. There we go. So just big brush, get all the important sections in. Then let's just try to like smooth it off. Just like that. Then maybe a little bit right here. Maybe we can connect them just in case we need to. Good to pretend like the leg's there. I was gonna leave it like a gap, but I think it's probably gonna, it might come up later. All right, how did the rest do? A little overboard here. A little further than I wanted is what I mean. Let me, please excuse me for potentially blinding you guys for a second. I'm gonna grab like a really saturated pink. Magenta, if you will. I had an eraser in my hand, so it didn't do anything. There we go. Just so like the parts can stand out really well. The parts that are colored over the lines. Right there. the issues with using a very undefined and blurry pencil brush instead of a like fine lining tool, where it's a little bit more easy to say for certain where a line starts and stops. I'm gonna leave all that there because it looks pretty good. Just maybe a little trimming on the knuckle here. Everything else looks good filled in like that. Beard should be a little transparent. Oh, speaking of beards, I trimmed mine completely off. I'm just gonna try the mustache only look for a little while. I think I remember when I was younger and a lot bigger, I had a very round and chubby looking jaw because I was very round and chubby. But now that I'm a little bit more slim, I've been curious as to what I look like with without the beard. And I think the beard made me look a little scragglier than I needed. Like I think I look better this way. We'll see. I'm gonna see. I've been told it looks good. I'll see how I feel about it later. Once I've had some time to settle into it. I know the shaving my beard is gonna be very annoying because my beard grows very, very fast. Like within 2 days, I'll have like a shadow. And then like by the end of the week, it'll be like already like a decent amount of stubble. Like I think in total, my full beard grows in like a month or like less than a month. Mainly because I keep it short. So it won't take me long to go back on my decision. If I feel the need to. I should have shrunk the selection by a pixel. But I'm already here. Sorry, I'm getting focused on trying to trim. Oh my god, my eyes are actually getting disoriented. Like he looks green now. Apologies to anybody that also has to like suffer through this. You probably aren't because you're not like locked in on every single detail that I'm working on, like I am. It's like that illusion where you focus on one spot for like 30 seconds, then you look at something else. That's what's happening right now. My eyes. Okay, we're deleting this pink now because it's starting to hurt my eyes. Oh, well, just 1 second. It does kind of go over his shoulder quite a bit. Wait a second. I just remembered. I tried to schedule an eye appointment. I don't know if they ever called back. I might have missed the email or something. Hold on 1 second. Oh, well, I don't know why I'm saying that like I'm going to check in the middle of my stream. Okay. Before my eyes start to like roll into the back of my head. Oh god. Okay, flat's done. Oh, hold on, give me a second. Okay, I should have chosen something a little softer than bright magenta. Just enough to like tell where the colors were. I probably could have used like black. Because the gray would have, the bright gray would have stood out. Okay, I'm gonna move the fan back towards me. Hopefully those fleas are done bothering my screen. We'll see. Okay, put it in the background again. I'm gonna delete this. Oh. All right. Let me see my notes real quick. What do I have? So final line art, we're gonna check that. I don't know what color this is. I think it's just like a sky blue. Brush. My little lettering tool. There it is. Okay. Gonna mark this done. But that's not the right color, but that's fine. Doesn't really matter. Flats. So we're gonna do this in 50% gray. Oops. Go away. Turn you off. So I'm gonna go to my palette. I'm gonna click default. It's a 50 perfect mid. And we're gonna change this guy's color to. Just gonna lock it to the transparency. Pop. I think that did it. Wait, which one's? Oh, never mind. I see what it is. It's this one. Yeah. Because that locks the transparency, so it's not gonna be any more or less transparent than it already was. Okay. So with that selected, we're gonna do the flats. So the shirt should probably be the brightest. No, his skin should probably be the brightest because he is pale. So we're gonna go for the skin tone. I'm gonna use maybe like gray 80 for like the brightest tone. Save like a very bright color for the everything else. This is on the wrong layer. I love when I do it on the wrong layer. Hang on a second. They need to be in a group, don't they? Yeah, there it goes. What is that? I'm on the wrong layer again. Jeez. How do I keep messing it up? Just all the places with skin. Right there. Right there. And we can trim it in. And make sure I don't like have any gaps, just fill it in completely. The hair is probably going to be the harder part because that needs to be a little vague because the hair, I like to blend the hairline into the head. There we go. So, in gaming news, I decided to do something I don't usually do, which is buy a fantasy game. The only exception to the fantasy games that I've played is the Elder Scrolls series, because being a Fallout fan, I am obviously also an Elder Scrolls fan. More Fallout than Elder Scrolls, but I do think the Elder Scrolls is great. And I've come to appreciate it more and like its uniqueness in the fantasy genre. But I'm still more of a Fallout fan because I just think the setting is a lot more unique. Usually I'm not into fantasy like at all because I find it a little too typical. Like everybody kind of sticks to the exact same rules. Like the unique thing about Fallout is that it's very like uniquely sci-fi. Like it's not just sci-fi with like futuristic technology. It can be sometimes just like generically sci-fi, but it has like a style to it where it's like very like reminiscent of 50s, 60s, 40s. You know, like time kind of like stopped or cultural stopped persisting past a certain point. Technology is locked within a certain state. So like it's very unique in its sci-fi. Like there's very few sci-fi anything that I think has that kind of like edge to it. Maybe steampunk and dieselpunk. Star Wars is a little similar where it's like it's sci-fi but it's like almost like low grade sci-fi. One second. But like things are still pretty old school. And part of that has to do with like the budget and B the technology back then during like the 70s. I don't know when Star Wars was made. 80s. I don't know. Who knows anymore? I'm technically a young zoomer. Oh, sorry. Technically an old zoomer. I'm gonna leave the hair for just another layer instead of having to trim them out. Now that I think about it, I probably could have done that for like everything else too. So we're gonna go over that. The hair, I'm gonna go like a 40. So sorry. Point is, I bought Baldur's Gate 3, despite not being very into fantasy. I am into D&D. I saw some gameplay. I originally thought it was I confused it with Diablo because I thought it was a Blizzard property, and Blizzard's pretty garbage. So I didn't feel like supporting it. I try to avoid a lot of games where I'm just like, listen, if there's like no chance that I'm gonna like even feel like I'm appreciated by the company, like most Switch games or Nintendo games, like I feel like Nintendo kind of hates their fans. And so like I don't really have any like desire to play any Nintendo games, even the ones that do like catch my eyes, like some like Metroid seems like it would be a fun game to play. Smash, I do like Smash, although I've never really been a big Smash fan. The fact that like the Nintendo just always makes decisions that makes the product worse or makes it so you can't preserve anything with Nintendo just makes me not like want to support it. Or like they really like you have to push like hard to get any like quality of life changes to anything. That makes me not like it. So Blizzard was one of those where it's like, okay, like Blizzard, I don't feel like really likes any of their players anymore. Like they have made it pretty well known that they don't really care about either the players and then like the quality of their games anymore. But then I realized that Baldur's Gate is not. It is actually a smaller studio, Lariat Studios. And instantly, like, I was like, oh, yeah, absolutely. And then, like, I've also mentioned before that I'm, like, weirdly picky with games. So, like, I also assumed it was, like, a top-down kind of game. So I was like, oh, absolutely not. Like, you know, top-down gameplay, blech. But it doesn't seem to be that entirely. It seems to be maybe a little vague. I haven't really seen too much of it. I don't think it's definitely not first person. Maybe like a little bit closer to third person, like Dragon Age. Or like the Final Fantasies. And then I also proceeded to find out that it's co-op. It's pretty much just like 5th edition D&D mechanically. And I was like, you know what? Everybody seems to be having a good time with it. I love D&D. It's from a studio that I think actually does a good job, which is like, you know, I've heard Divinity Original Sin 2, Divinity 2 Original Sin, I'm not sure what. I've heard that those were like really like appreciated games. So yeah, I'm gonna be trying Baldur's Gate, and I'm really excited to play it. But I already had like a game just like barely started, which is Hard Spaceship. Just a second. Hard Space Shipbreaker, and I finally actually started the game. I had it like booted up, and like I did the tutorial for like 5 seconds and fell asleep because I started it when I was like extremely tired. I think it was after one of these streaming sessions I tried starting it and then immediately fell asleep. I think I have like 2 or 3 hours in the gameplay where it was just me sleeping while like floating around in the tutorial. Anyways, but yeah, like this time I last night I finally actually gave it like a good start of like focusing on the gameplay, and oh my goodness, is that a fun game. It's very unique. It's basically the idea is that you're part of like a shipyard that like breaks down old spaceships. And so your goal is to like break down a spaceship piece by piece, throwing away some parts, melting some parts, keeping other parts for like recycling, selling off more like expensive computer equipment. But also there's a bunch of like hazards in it. So there's pressure that you have to worry about. So like some pressures are still like airlocked, so you can't open it up, or if you do, you have to be far away from it because it's going to suck you in. I don't know how much anybody knows about like space I don't know if physics, that's what it is. If you make a tiny little quarter-shaped hole into the side of a ship, it is going to, and you know it's vacuum pressured, then it is going to suck you through that tiny little hole. And that is very unpleasant. If you've watched the Alien movies, I don't know why I'm saying that like I've watched the Alien movies. I've actually never watched any of the Alien movies. I've watched Prometheus, correction. But sorry. Yeah, that's something that happened, and it is extremely unpleasant to watch. Let alone probably experience. That doesn't happen to you, although they do like joke about that being possible. You mainly just take a lot of damage. And then like your character pretty much dies instantly. But yeah, sorry. It's a super fun and unique game. I've heard it described as like a puzzle game because like you're just like breaking it down in a way in process that's like will be the safest to you, will maximize the amount of loot that you can get from each ship. And it has like a pretty fun union message to it. I'm not exactly sure how like openly political it is. I mean, it has like you know unions and union busting. Unions, I think, are political. I think they are a leftist idea. They are probably like the most leftist idea, but they are open to be supported by any political alignment, because no matter if you're like the most radical capitalist that believes you have no rights as a worker, you still want to be paid what you are owed. It's like it goes beyond it, even though it is supposed to be like a very political stance. Because if you were actually like a true capitalist and believe capitalism was the way of things, then you would probably believe that people asking for the rights is nothing about that will help you achieve your ends. I guess that's not true, because actually I think there is like research that like happier workers will earn more and will reward you in the long term. It's more like short-term financial decisions that like make it so union crushing is more ideal. I'm not sure. I'm not like too well versed in like ideology. But yeah, sorry, I'm bringing up like political ideology whenever I'm trying to talk about a video game. A little hard, not games can be political, pretending like Fallout isn't political in some sense. Like at best, you get games that are like somewhere that like play both sides or play like somewhere in the middle, so they're not very explicit. but even those games can be like inherently political. Like what I'm thinking of is Call of Duty. Call of Duty really plays hard towards the middle. So like they're aggressively anti-war, but also aggressively kind of pro-war. And they play both sides to it depending on like what's happening in the story. But like even in like trying to like ride the line in the middle, it's still pretty like actively supporting, you know, whatever policies and, you know, whatever, what is it, foreign policy that is already there. So like if a foreign policy is already pretty conservative or radically aggressively pro-war, and you don't critique it wholeheartedly, then, you know, like you're probably pushing it forward a little bit. You know, it's a fine line. You can still critique it. You don't have to like be 100% against war. Anyways, I'm gonna abandon the subject because it's getting on my nerves. I don't know if I can explain it very well while trying to also keep up my drawing. Point is, hard space. Hard space shipbreaker. I remember this time. Really having fun with this game, although I'm only like a single play session, which means like a few hours into the game. I did get annoyed that there was a timer whenever that came up, because the first few missions you don't have a timer. So once it came in, I was like, no, I don't want to like have to speed up my process. But you're supposed to like take multiple shifts on the same ship. Like just figuring out how you're going to tackle it next time, or saving this part for later, because you know you're going to have like a little bit more time to take with it. And then also like taking into consideration, you know, I'm losing my train of thought. Taking into consideration whether or not there's enough to do that you need one more you know, work session or one more work day basically to deal with it, or if you pretty much scrapped as much as you can, and you know, like one more day isn't going to be worth the amount of money that it takes to get it started. You start out with like millions, or I think billions or trillions of dollars of debt, and you're like slowly making it up. And I think the idea is that you never actually make it up, but that's yet to be revealed in the game. So, you know, you kind of have to account for, it's like, okay, is there even like, if it's like $500,000 every day to work on the ship, is there even like $500 left of the ship for me to break down, or do I call it there? But eventually you get used to the time limit, you know, and then there's a little bit of like, oh man, like I really wish I could just like take my time easy. And I think they do have like a free play mode where you can just have fun with it. But I'm just playing through the campaign. I don't know if I'm going to spend a huge amount of time with it, because I already want to move on to other games. I'm going to take basically just enough time to get done with the story mode at a good pace, because I do like the gameplay. Like, the game I was playing before this was Snow Runner, and there are like 15 levels, dozens of trucks that you can play with, and I did like maybe 2 levels before I was like, okay, I got enough enjoyment out of this. I don't mind just leaving it for later. You know, like I could play this any other day, any other time, whenever, maybe when I'm a little bit more caught up with the games I want to play. This is the shirt. Maybe we can go a little brighter. Yeah, there we go. That's a good like base tone for the shirt. I could probably put this under the skin. That way I don't even have to worry about like trimming it off. I can just keep it like that. Yeah. I'm having a lot of fun with that. And then I think I'm gonna just jump right into Baldur's Gate. That way I can like kind of keep up. I'm not like super obsessed with like keeping up with every single game that everybody's talking about all the time. But this was one where I was like, you know what? Let's have some fun. Let's try to like jumping in while it's hot. I'm hoping to get my brothers into it so we can get into it, because we played like 2 D&D sessions together, and I think they like it. But I think the time that it takes to get everybody together is a little bit much for them. So I'm hoping maybe this is a little easier for just like between me and my two brothers, or maybe even my friends if they get into it. Although I haven't heard them talk too much about it. Plus, I think like it's not just me jumping on the train, like seeing people like it and then me wanting to jump onto it. It's like legitimately like a game that's like very much like D&D. Some of the writing seems really good in it, and then also the character creation. If there was a game that was just character creation, then I'm already in. Like I love The Sims. The only issue with The Sims is that it costs so much money to get all the DLC, which you could just play the base game, but like you're missing out on all the customization options, which is just like, what's the point? Like, I mean, anybody can look it up, but like Sims 4, just like buying all the DLC is like $200+. It makes me so upset. It's just so bad, and I hate it. I would almost even consider like a subscription option before I consider paying for $200 of like nickel and dime DLC. That is insane. I hate it so much. And let's just go over the tie. We can have the tie layer go above it. We're just slapping on the flats. So yeah, Baldur's Gate. Some of the games that I'm thinking about like getting into, I think I mentioned Disco Elysium. Disco Elysium is normally not a game I'd be into. I mean, I love narrative games, like story-based games. Huge exploration, RPG elements, investigation, all that sounds good. It's just, like I mentioned before, top-down games. Something about it. It's like as soon as I see it, my brain is immediately turned off. But I saw my brother playing it, and the voice actors are insane. Like they just like as soon as I heard that, like as soon as the voices hit my ear, I was like, oh, wow, I could like listen to this voice for like hours. This is incredible. Sorry, I just realized I didn't even check if I got any messages from like friends or family, but I'm good. So yeah, I'm thinking of Disco Elysium eventually. I need to finally play Devil May Cry. I've been a Devil May Cry fan since Devil May Cry 3. I even like the DMC Devil May Cry, although I get why people weren't too into that one. But I still legitimately enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun game. I thought a lot of the stylistic choices were fun. It was edgy nonsense, but I think that, that's kind of the whole appeal of Devil May Cry in the first place. I mean, the game's literally called Devil May Cry. It's about demons. Let it be an edgy mess. Anyways, no need to go through old fights that I've already lost. And I mean, I'm glad the old style Devil May Cry games continued. Anyways, DMC 5 came out instead of DMC 2. So yeah, I need to finally actually get to playing that game. The Metro games, I got all 3 of them just sitting on the back burner, and they look so good. What other games I got? Hellpoint. I wanted to play that. More Dark Souls type games. I just slapped the crap out of my microphone. The Dishonored games, I played all of them except for the last DLC, the Death of the Outsider, which I've heard not great things about, which is concerning, but Dishonored as a series is a little fractured, I think, in the community. Deus Ex. I need to play the Deus Ex games. But like I said, next on the list is Baldur's Gate. From there, we'll see. We'll see where Baldur's Gate puts me in the mood. Elden Ring. I need to buy. Do I have Elden Ring? I don't have Elden Ring. Hey. Maybe after Baldur's Gate, I'll be in the mood for some Dark Souls games. I need to finally play Elden Ring. I love the Dark Souls games. Everybody's talked about Elden Ring, and I haven't even touched it. Like all the lore I must have missed. I am gonna skip out on Armored Core though. It looks cool, but mechs. That's another one. Another one of those like weird style genre choices that I just can't get into. As soon as an anime or a video game has mechs, I'm like, nope, not into it. Just something about it just doesn't feel very fun to me. I think in anime, it's like it feels too disconnected. It feels too low stakes, and you can kind of bring up the stakes like whenever they're like connected, so they still feel pain while in the mech. And then you can have things that don't focus on the mech, kind of like how in Superman you can have things that don't focus on Superman. Or One Punch Man, same thing. But for whatever reason, like whenever I see mechs, like my brain is immediately like, oh, I don't care. Like even Neon Genesis? Why am I saying Genesis? Neon Genesis Evangelion. Like I know it's not even about the mechs, but like it's like my brain is just like no real desire to get into it. Gurren Lagann. I don't even know that one's. I'm pretty sure that one's like really light on the mechs. Like that's like background dressing. But like still like there's something about it. Isekai I think is very fair. I think I can legitimately say that Isekai is not very fun. There are good Isekai, but I'm not like interested in like a good Isekai. Like I'm just like not interested in it as a genre. I watched Sword Art Online just to kind of like understand where the community was coming from, because it exploded in popularity. But once I watched it, I was like, that was mid to terrible, somewhere around that range. So I don't. Then like 7 more Isekai came out the next season, another 7 after that, another 7 after that. Literally every season of anime has like 7 or somewhere around there, like Isekai, and all of them are just maybe one good one and then like 6 terrible ones. Or not even terrible, maybe just like mediocre. It's like Isekai, that's one of those genres where like I just can't get into it. Like it's really just not a fun genre. Another one for me that's maybe less justified. I really don't like time repeating and time loops. Like I think there can be fun like little one-offs, but like whole series about it, just like I don't like them. Steins Gate, I know everybody loves Steins Gate. There are like retro aspects that I think are like cool to it, where it's like, oh, it's like set in 2005 and something about that's kind of cool. But it's just like you repeat the same time loop. Oh, he can't break out the time loop, but then he kind of does break out the time loop. Like I don't know, like it's not fun for me. Like whenever I like know what like stakes are, it like feels very listless to me. Like it feels like it doesn't matter anymore to me. When I know like there's an infinite like realm of possibilities of things that can happen. The character can die an infinite amount of times. Literally anything can happen. So it like makes it so like, oh, I'm not surprised. I don't care. Or like even when like the darker moments happen where it's like, oh my god, like this character died and you couldn't do anything about it. It's like, okay, like I don't care. Like of course that happens in some of these time zones. Of course, like I've seen it already. Like the character like tries to fix something in the time loop and then like it makes it worse. It's like, yeah, I've seen that's been a thing. So like freaking Back to the Future. And I don't like Back to the Future. Back to the Future's okay. I think Back to the Future I don't hate as much because it's goofy. You know, it's a very like goofy movie series. So it doesn't like offend me, but whenever it's like it tries to take itself seriously, that's when like my brain shuts off, and I'll take it. You know, like my stylistic taste here, time loops, mech, yeah, all those could be complete garbage. I admit it. It's possible. That's fair. But they are what they are. You know, like those. That is how I feel. The time loop one is like a really hard one too, because I know I have friends who are like really into like certain time loop anime and manga, and they've like recommended some to me, and I'm just like, listen, like I can't, like they're just, I don't care, like I don't, like from the premise, I'm already out. Like I remember, I think one of my friends was trying to recommend me like one where they were like, I don't remember if they were like super good in the high school or like this magic school, or they were really terrible, and then they restart from ground zero, and then they have like all these opportunities to like finally make it up to the like his classmates, or like finally go for the girl that he wanted to, and I'm just like, already from the premise, I don't care. Like if he already knows what's happening, like then there's already like a, you know, like they've already pulled the punch. I'm already like slightly divested because like everything's, you know, not surprising to him. Or maybe it is surprising because, you know, like he didn't know how this was going to be. And it's like, nah. I think Tokyo Revengers, like even that one looked kind of decent. I like the character design. But like, again, it's one of those where it's like, okay, now he gets to make things up and change things and do things right this time. And I'm like, I don't like, if they already know what's going to happen, then what I don't really care. Or if this is like, it's already like a lesser experience because there's like an original timeline, and now we're like warping the timeline, and it's like, I don't know, something about it is just not great. I don't like it. That's just a style thing though. Like I'm not gonna act like it's terrible. Like I'm not gonna act like it's flawed and you can't do a good story with it. Or like Steins Gate. Like I know Steins Gate is like one of the better animes. Anime / manga or visual novel, whatever you want to call it, or categorize it as. But that still doesn't mean I have to like it. Like you can think that something is critically good even if you don't have like a taste for it. Just like me liking Devil May Cry, the DMC reboot that everybody hated. Like I know I'm wrong, but that's okay. You know, like I like what I like. People like what they like. This is about video game genres, and I got into anime. I haven't even watched anime in so long. But I still have feelings. I still have emotions for him. I mean, my art style is still mostly like anime inspired. So I don't think it's surprising that I like still think about anime. And I still like to keep up with what's going on. That's why I know that isekai are still, for some reason, popping. You know, vending machine isekai. That's actually good from what I hear. I'm watching you guys. You weebs. Us weebs? We weeb? He, she, we, me, weeb? Okay. I think that's most of it blocked out. Hair, skin, jacket. I think the only other thing is like metal buckles. So I think we can just put them all on one layer. I'm gonna do it like 80% is the shirt. Let's go like 70%. Why is that like 70% is not bright enough. Okay, let's go 90. I don't know. We could probably tweak it later. I'm also going to include the little rivets. Sorry, point is, Armored Core looks good, although I'm not into mech, so I'm not that interested. And I mean, the gameplay also looks like something I'm not that into, like the mech gameplay. It looks like if I was a mech fan, I would be dreaming. Like my head, I would be head over heels in love with it. But because I'm not very into mech, it's like, even if it's great mech, I'm just like, cool. I hope you guys enjoy. And that's where that's where I'm gonna leave it. Like, I hope you guys are happy and have a good time. Not every game has to like meet my taste, and my tastes aren't superior. I've only recently been, in like the past like 4 years, been giving indie games more of a chance. So I'm well aware that my tastes are kind of whack. But at least I'm trying to expand them, so that's nice. I'm giving more games chances than I used to. And trying to expand it. Like Frostpunk was like the starting point where I was like, oh, okay. Maybe top-down games and can be good. And I got really addicted to city builders for a little while. Like I don't know if I've talked about it, but there's a game called Timberborn where it's basically a city builder with beavers. And that game is a problem for me because I get really invested. Like that is a game where I'm guaranteed like 2-3 hours past like when I need to go to bed. Like I will be playing that game. I had to like stop this most recent time because it was just like the second or third week of me just not getting any sleep. And I was like, okay, we gotta stop. Like I've reached a good point. I've seen what's been updated. Let's leave it for next time. You know, I'm like sure that I could keep what's it called when you keep refining your like gameplay and shortening things up. I could keep doing that, or I can move on to another game, get another game started. I think I moved on to SnowRunner. Or I think I stopped playing games for a little while. I think I played Battlefield again. I just did a few games every now and again to wake myself up. I'm still doing that. I still queue up a Battlefield 1 game. Recently I started playing it again after not playing it for a while. And it's still like a great game to just kill a few hours, get that brain and, you know, like the reflexes hyped up if you need to. Okay. So now we have like the general flats of what the character looks like. Ooh, let me bring the mic closer. I think we're gonna have to tweak the colors a bit. So I think his skin is not far enough from his shirt. So I think maybe the shirt needs to be darker. So what is this? 90%? That's not 90%. 70%. Okay. So let's go like 60, 50, 55. Let's try 55. 60. Let's try 60. 60 I think is a good midpoint. We could probably darken the background a little bit to make sure he doesn't like get lost in there. And then let's brighten up his skin a bit. Where's skin? That's pants. Where is his skin? There it is. So what is his skin at? There it is. That's 80%. Let's try just 85, just one step up. I'm gonna have to do it one by one because it's like 3 different pieces. It's a little brighter. Yeah, that's good. It's a good amount of brightness. Let me just test 90%. Just to really see what that looks like. Yeah, it's a little too strong. I think 90% is good. Or 85% is a good point. Good amount of brightness, not too distractingly snow white. Hair is a good tone. I don't know what that is. I think it was like a 50. Oh, it's a 30. Jeez, it's dark. But that's a good point too. The time might be a little dark. Like I need it dark, but it's gonna be basically red. So it's not gonna be, I don't need it to be like pitch black. So first, let me, oops. Lock the transparency. How does 20% look? What just happened? Hello? Why is it doing that? Am I not on the right layer? No, I should be on the right layer. Okay, 20%'s a little too bright. 15. Again, it's not doing it correctly. 15. What is this? This is 10%. So just like literally one step higher feels like night and day. Again, it's not doing it properly. There it goes. That's good. I think that's good. I think it's a really dark color, but it's not like distractingly dark. The suspenders are good color, stands out enough. We can use like a brighter brown color for it. I think it's like the same color as the pants. That's like 25%, and then the pants are 35%. Okay, so it's a little step higher, so that's good. It's a little darker than the pants. I think the pants are just going to be khaki, so I don't mind them being a little lighter than everything else. I feel like this is a good range of values. Really pale skin, you get a really close to dark, and then it saves the darkest darks for the shadows. So once we actually get into like the rendering of everything, which I think is the next step actually. We're almost at 2 hours, so we might just be able to call it. But we can maybe just block everything out. Yeah, let's do like a quick shadow, and then we can call it. So 1 second, let me. Blah. Ooh, we made good progress. I've been talking absolute nonsense about video games and anime and being weird. I've talked about like my emotions, which is cringe. It's fine. We like emotions here. I'm gonna put this all in a group. This is just all him. So again, I want to do just like a flat, light part, shadow part, and then we can maybe have like a midtone. The cell shading technique. Cell shading, but I'm not gonna be like super strict about it. I don't want to like overly rendered where every like every shade in between black and white is represented. So let's start with. I did, so right before this, I did say I had a bit of time, but I wasn't able to prepare my camera. But what I was doing was I got a reference for how we're going to do the shadows and lighting. So I think this is what we're going to do for the face. We might change how the, like, silhouette behind him, the shadow behind him looks. They're not going to be completely accurate, but that's fine. Like, I don't mind breaking the rules a little bit. You don't have to keep everything super accurate. I think it's a good reference on how like the lighting is going to affect the character itself. So let's move you a little bit more to the side, like right here. Right here's perfect. So I'm going to make you like 50% shadow. And let's see if we can keep it simple. Just block out the main shapes of the shadows. So I intentionally was focusing on how it's going to affect the face, so we can get that like little remembrant triangle. I think that's what it's called. Yep. Yeah, it's considered like a gold standard perfect lighting is whenever you have like lighting very blanketing one side of the face, but just enough so like the like a little triangle on the cheek on the other side is visible. So like just this little triangle right here is visible. That's considered like the best lighting you could ask for. Although you know like it's a rule is that you can break. You know like you can light it however you want. I'm probably gonna have like a little bit of a light bouncing back onto it, so it's not really showing up on the 3D model. I don't know if it has like that kind of. I think that's like RTX, like something they have on the big thing about like the RTX. What is it called? What am I thinking of? Is it just RTX? Hold on one second. Ray tracing. That's what I'm thinking of. Like the whole big thing of why ray tracing is supposed to be like this super cool thing is that it accurately reflects light, or it's supposed to like it's all illusions. It's not actually reflecting light, but in engine it's supposed to reflect it in a way that's close to that resembles real life. So I don't think this little web tool would have that. But yeah, we're gonna like trim out like the light bouncing off of the wall that he's standing against, because he's pretty close to the wall, so it would reflect quite a bit of light back onto him. So like that. So that's where we're gonna be looking for there. So back to this. Just the side of the light catching it, and I'm guessing like down here. He's got a bigger chest than what this 3D model has. 3D model is kind of just like normal. I wouldn't even describe that as normal. Like that's like pretty great body definition. But this character is like way more defined. So let's see, where else should we note? Under the eye. Obviously the hand's gonna have a shadow, so around like here. I'm gonna make it like a design decision. I'm gonna have like this, a little bit of shadow here to let that pop out a bit. Just a little bit here too. Hmm. I think this was catching some shadow here. Because I think neither the inside or outside of the arm were completely pointing towards the light. So both of them catch a little shadow towards the edges. Kind of like this. It's a little too well defined. Hold on, let me just make it a little bit more subtle. There we go. Oh. Ooh, let me pull it up. Hey, thanks for following. I'm just working on my little guy over here. Let me go and pull out. We're trying to get a little bit of the shadows kind of worked out. I'm trying to keep it more of like a clip art, not clip art. What is it called? Cell shaded style. So it's like pretty simple, but just trying to get things a little bit more defined now. Like I slapped on like a real quick version of it, and now I'm trying to just like cut things out, trim things back in. But yeah, thank you for the follow. It's good to see you. Let's see. Trim this back out here. I don't think I need every single abdominal muscle poking out, but let's just try to get like a general shape. A little bit of the chest poking here. I think like right after the like first one, whenever the ribs start to kick in, that's when I like to get a big shadow. So like right here, like right here. That's when I like to have like a big shadow. That's kind of more of just style choice. I don't think that's, you know, necessarily accurate to real life, but like I've said before, it's more, you know, it's pick and choose. Sometimes you want it real, sometimes you want it to be just to look more cool. Oh, that's just fine. Thank you. The English you are speaking is works just fine. I appreciate it. Thank you. Nope. No, good. Let's see. Trim that out. And even if you don't speak English, I absolutely love emotes. I think some people get annoyed by it, but I like emote spam. It's fun. Helps the chat feel a little bit more lively. Now the tie is gonna have like a different level of shading because it's like pushing away from the body, pushing into the body. You know, it's a piece of fabric. It's gonna go in and out as it pleases, a little differently from everything else. Here we go. So I think maybe trying to figure out how the lighting is gonna work here. Just a little bit there. You turn up the shadow a bit, make it a little bit stronger, so I can tell where I'm actually working. We're working with a lot of values here, so I want to make sure I'm doing it right. I think this is gonna have a lot harder of a shadow here. Oh, and then the tie should definitely be casting its own shadow. So like just trim that back out. Perfect. And then get the ridges of the pants in here too. Nothing too strong, just like a little bit of a generic shadow. I don't want it too well defined. Don't want it bringing unnecessary attention to itself. We're just gonna black out this entirely, actually. Just fill that entirely in. Only leaving space for like the reflective shadow, the bounce lighting. It's like right here. Same with the belt. The belt's gonna catch some of it too. About right there. That's probably as far as the bounce light is gonna be able to go. Trim this back out too. Trim this back in. Just dialing it in, dial it out. Maybe like a little bit right there. Just a little bit. Help it like stand out. Let me try again. Okay, there. Slim it down. And I think let's try to like round it out. Just like that. There we go. I think that's good. Trim this back and smooth this out. Smooth this out. There we go. Nice, 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 nice. Ooh. Shadows are hard. I hate lighting so much. Why isn't lighting just easier? Just for me. I have to work so hard to get lighting right because like it's not something that comes very naturally to me. Here we go. Like I know some basics on how to do like lighting, but it's still not like it's not like secondhand, like, or like it's not something I can pull out of my head without even thinking about it. Like I really have to like sit down and break down every part of it to get it looking like at least close to right. Here we go. Nice. Maybe just a little here. There we go. I think that's a good amount of wrinkles to stand out. I think that's the only parts of the like back that will like stand out enough from that will get hit by the bounce lighting is what I'm trying to say. Let's see here. I think I'm gonna separate the tie from the chest a little bit here. So like what I have in my head is like this is when it starts to scoop back out again. So let me just erase the tie entirely for a second. So just following along where it's going in, where it's going out. So it's comes back out here. It's pushing back out. So this is the top. Okay, that's where the shadow's coming in. Then around, and then it pushes back towards the body here. Right there. And then right back out again. Towards the end of it, towards the end of the shirt or the tie. Just like that. Oh, just like nope. Okay. So here on the tie, it starts dark here because it's underneath the collar. There's a little bit of shadow there. Oh, this is the suspenders. I forgot. So I see like a little line here. We're gonna do a bit of a shadow. Nothing too much because this one's actually like pointed pretty closely to the light, but just enough that you can tell there's like a groove there. Same with this here. Just a little shadow. Nothing too crazy. Nothing too extreme. Right there. Then I'm going to make this a little separate. I think it's going to scoop in too, just like that. But it's going to start a little lower than where the rest of the chest does. Just like that. Does it push back out or should it keep going? Hold on, let me see. The only groove is right here, so okay, hold on. It comes out here too. So just like that. So maybe we should just fill this part entirely in. Right there. So it follows along the chest until the chest goes back in. It stays outside a little bit, but then slowly scoops back in. And slowly scoops back out for the other set of abs. And right back in. Then right back out at the end. Just in, out, in, out. But it's going at its own pace that's a little bit separated and delayed from the chest. Because, you know, like it's going to follow along the chest, but it's not like glued to the chest. So it is going to be, the shadows are going to move a little bit differently. 1 second while I stretch. Ooh. Oh, goodness. We're now at the 2-hour mark. We're basically going to try to finish as much as we can. I don't mind leaving the shadows just like halfway there. Because I think we're making good progress. Like, I think this is going to be a little easier to do, like, a cell shaded style than I have with my other attempts. I don't know why. I think I'm just breaking it down a lot better in my head. There we go. I'm gonna trim this back out too, but I am gonna keep putting a shadow here. Just where the suspenders cast a little bit of a shadow. Here's gonna be a little triangle because it's pointing away from the lights. A little bit of shadow here. A little bit of shadow there for the finger. Because all of these are pointing like almost directly away from the light. I'm going to leave the edge because it's going to come around the edge just a little bit. Just peeking out of the edges. A little bit of light. There we go. It's coming together. Oop. Shadow here. A little bit right there because it's like tucked into. Like a little shadow along this line, but we're going to trim it down to fit a little bit more. Oops. There we go. A little bit of there. Gonna scoop it back out because I just want like a little bit of a shadow on the button. Just a little bit of shadow. Nothing too crazy. I don't want it too detailed. I'm gonna put like a little pocket here, a little pocket of shadow. Even though there's no line showing it, I think it's a good place for a little bit of shadow. But I just need to make it a little bit more subtle. There we go. I think that's good. Ooh. Suspenders here, I think, should also follow the same rules as the tie, where it like separates from the chest just a little bit. There's even a line there, so that's perfect. I was already thinking about it. Maybe even go a little further. No, that's looking weird. I'm gonna fill that back in. Just right there. Same with here. Push past. There we go. Make this a little bit more smooth. Right there. There we go. Hold on, this isn't looking right here. Maybe like that. Maybe we can just have like this entire section right here, and we can just say it's like the edge that's catching the light, and then like the other flat part of the what's it called? I already forgot it. Suspenders. The flat part of the suspenders are like directly pointed against the light. Okay, now here, let's see, shadow there. Right there. There we go. Maybe we should shade in this entire shadow in this entire part here. It's a little complex. I think there's gonna be like a should be like a where the suspender is casting its own shadow. Oh, we are skipping this though, because that has a weird scraping sound, and it drives me nuts. Okay. Ooh. So how's the entire thing looking? It's looking pretty good. Let me smooth this out. Oop. Not that. I think maybe like right here. Maybe shadow here. Following along this little groove that I have like penciled out. Oop. Now how far does this reach? Because it's like slowly gonna be like pushing away from the light. So maybe like right here is a good point to stop it. Then I'm also gonna like take out the edge a little bit. Just show like that side is getting lit, but it's not like completely transferring to the flat of it. Just like you can tell like there's gonna be a light hitting against the side of it. Just enough to tell. Right there. And then this should be catching a lot of light from there. Nope, not like that. A little bit of shadow here. Because it's just like a roll. There we go. I think that's good. There we go. Nice, 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 nice. Fill this in. Smooth this out. There we go. No, 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 no. That doesn't look right. There we go. Ooh. There we go. Trim out the belt because it's not supposed to be getting any. We're not doing the shadows for that just yet. So this part of the shirt is gonna like push out and then push it back in for being tucked in. So that's why there's gonna be like a shadow here. I'm gonna just redo it a bit. Just like that. Yeah, that looks good. And let's see. We can have like a little bit of shadow here. Like, kind of like that. Ooh, like that. Smooth it out at the bottom. Why did it undo that part? Oh my goodness. Please, I'm begging you. Just do it correctly. Thank you. And we're gonna smooth this out too. Just like that. Looks like a Nike swoosh. Nah, I'm not feeling. That feels a little unnecessary. Maybe. What if we connect it to like right here, so like you can see that it's just like a single wrinkle of the shirt that's popping out. Like that. That gonna help sell it. I'm gonna keep it for now because it doesn't look terrible. What if we connect these parts? Thin it out so it looks like it's more of a subtle. Push this in. How's that? Ooh, hang on a sec. Ooh. Big stretch. No. That's not necessary. What if you just completely fill this in? Yeah, that actually does feel kind of good. What? Let me try to avoid the button so we can keep that where it is. I'm gonna fill this in. Maybe we can leave the edge just a little lit, like right here. And then fill in everything else around the button. Like just the edge of this catching the lights. There we go. Oh god. Whew. Alright, I think that's all of the shirt. How does that look compared to like the original like little shadow that I did? Let me turn this off. And this was like the original reference layer. Yeah, okay, so like almost like the entire like, I don't know, abdomen part was like completely like shadowed in, which I think is pretty close to where I got it here. Let me just pull them right next to each other. Yeah, I think it might have like put one more ab in there. Yeah, we can put one more. We can put one more. Where is it? Here it is. So like just above that one button that we were working on. Just like right here. That good? Hold on. I feel like it's weirdly sharp. Maybe I'll... just like hit it, make it a little bit more like this shape here. A favored sided triangle with rounded edges. There we go. Oops. Oops. Oh, it's hard to tell what that did if while the screen's tilted. There we go. Maybe we can make this a little smaller, a little more subtle. And what is this? Oh yeah, there's like just a little wrinkle there. That's fine. I just realized this doesn't have any shadow on it either. There we go. Okay. It's a little bit peeking out there. There we go. Ooh, that inner chest. Let's see. Let's smooth this out so we can get that the hand is there. Ooh. Or maybe we should call it. I think we're now at like 2.5 hours. I think we should maybe find like a place to stop. So I'm gonna just see. Maybe I can stop at this shoulder once I'm done with this. So let's see. The shoulder is pretty washed in light. So I'm not gonna do too much like hard shadowing. It's so much more difficult when it's for me when it's cell shaded because it's just like hard 1 or 2. You know, like you don't really get any gradients or any soft transition. It's just you gotta pick the hardest shadows, and that's about all you can get. There we go. I was supposed to be finding a place to stop, but I was having a good time. I mean, that's fine if I'm having a good time, so I can keep going. But I should probably consider stopping. Or at least finding like a good place to stop. And I wasn't expecting to be able to finish all the rendering in one sitting anyways. No, I should definitely put like a shadow on the chest where the shirt overlaps. Like right there. There we go. Nice. I think we're good there. I mean, just a little bit of shadow here. Just a little bit as a treat. Just a little bit of shadow as a treat. Trim it back down. Give it sharp edges where needed. Whew. All right, so we got the rest of a small little edit. Oh, hold on. Let me calm down. Bah, starting over. We are finished for today. That's basically all we're gonna be able to do. So what we did was we made a little bit more of an edit. We added suspenders to the outfit on request of one of my friends. And I think it looked good. I think it added just a little bit more to spice things up, and I think they're a good look. For this character especially. Then we also got the flats done, which I knew would only take a few minutes because there's not too wide of a variety of colors that he's wearing. It's basically just shirt, tie, now suspenders, pants, belt, hair, and skin. You know, very, very simple. It's not like a 7-piece outfit. It's more like 4 or 5. And then I also got some of the rendering done, which is really great. I still need to continue to tweak it, but I think the main part of the shirt is almost entirely done. I think maybe just the rolled up sleeves and then the other side of the shoulder needs to be detailed out. But then I have to do the face, the beard, the hair, the pants. So we still, and the hands. The hands are like almost completely unrendered. So we still have plenty to do later for the next stream. Let me double check to see if I have nothing going on. I am still considering maybe moving my streams to a different day, but we'll have to sit and consider that later. I have friends that play D&D on Tuesdays, and I'm thinking about maybe moving it to so I can try doing that because I like the idea. I'm not sure. If I do, I'll let you guys know. I'll have like one last day on Wednesday or Tuesdays where I'm doing it. If I do, I'm probably going to move it to Mondays because I have literally nothing on Mondays that I do. It used to be that Mondays were like days in case I wasn't sure if I was gonna be able to be awake on Mondays. But I think I can, if I plan on it, I can be a little bit more consistent on Mondays. So Mondays would be the new day if I switch. We'll see. I also have I might get a new job. We'll see if any of the places that I apply to respond. And aside from that, that should be the only update as far as that goes. But yeah, it looks like the upcoming Tuesday should be good all month. So next week we'll be able to do this again, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Wait, let me stand back up. How do I look at camera? I still look devilishly handsome. Very good. Yeah. So next Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'll be here streaming again. We'll continue to work on the rendering, getting a little bit more of it done. Hopefully we'll be able to do the rest of the rendering, because at the pace I'm going, things are looking really good. I'm very confident about this one not taking up too much time. Then we'll do the gradient maps. We'll do the background painting, foreground painting for the guy that's knocked over. I'll be turning on a few of these in a minute, so we can have like a good like progress shot of where we're at. Things aren't gonna look crazy until I start adding colors. It's not gonna look like I'm doing a lot until I have colors on there. What am I thinking? All right, so let me go ahead and do my plugs. So the first one is gonna be my Instagram. My Instagram is the same name. You see it down below, and it's also linked down below if you just want to click it, and it'll send you to there. I posted earlier today. If you can go ahead and give it a like, give me a follow if you want to see more of my art, or just give it a view. Anything I would appreciate. Instagram is mostly where I keep things up to date, so I usually post at least once every week or every other week, and I also keep updates as far as like what's going on in my life over there as well. So please feel free to check that out. I really appreciate it. I have 2 YouTube channels, so I have a full stream archive. So that the full stream archive channel is just the full VODs, just uploaded on YouTube for posterity. And then the other one is a time-lapse channel where all of the streams are individually made into 5-minute chunks. So you can see an entire stream and what progress I made all in one video. And then whenever I'm done with a piece of art, I like to make what I call a supercut. So supercut is all the time lapses combined into one. So you see the very first few lines and very first sketch of the drawing, all the way to the very final polish and all the little tweaks that come at the very end, all into maybe like a 10 to 15 minute video, depending on how many videos I have to cramp down in one. I really enjoy the supercuts. They're probably like the most impressive because it makes me look like I actually know what I'm doing, which is crazy. But yeah, check out those YouTube channels. Same thing, like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. Click the bell, I guess. I don't really know. I don't use bell for anybody. Personally, I think bells are silly, but use the bell if you like to use bells. That's preference. And also, you don't have to hear my voice. You can just watch, and enjoy that. I just play some of the nicer songs from the chill hop playlist that I use. Those are very, very good. I get like really crazy about those. Check out my DeviantArt. My DeviantArt is actually doing really well. Recently, I made a post on there that got like 40 likes, which is crazy for me because I've been on DeviantArt for like 13 years, and the most I get is like around 10 to 20. But yeah, that one blew up, and now I feel like I have like an actual following on there. It's I'm really happy with that. So give me go ahead and check me out. I also have older pieces of art, and then also stuff that I don't feel like is good enough to post on Instagram, or it's just a little bit of extra sketching. I will sometimes post to my DeviantArt. So check DeviantArt out for some of those. See where it came from. See some of my poems if you want to see like middle school poems that seem deep. They're really terrible. But yeah, they're still up there. I'm also pretty active on DeviantArt. So if you just want to talk, say hello, I'm there. I also have a commission sheet down below, so if you want me to draw one of your characters, whether it's Vampire the Masquerade like we're working on now, or Dungeons and Dragons, I've done plenty of Dungeons and Dragon characters and commissions, or if you want me to draw like your favorite anime character, your favorite comic book character, just take a look at the chart down below. If you don't understand the chart and how to do the pricing on there, you can just go ahead and send me a message on Instagram or send me an email. Make sure you expound on the email, make it very obvious that you're a real person and not just a bot. And then we could talk about exactly what rates we can do there. You know, depending on how complex your art is going to depend on the pricing. But yeah, I'd love to work on your characters, make it sure it represents your character really well. You know, like make your character feel as cool as you want your character to be. You know, I love conceptualizing and try to do like crazy designs for your D&D characters and all those other kind of characters, OCs and all those types. So yeah, look down below. Tell me what you think. Ask any questions you want. Try to make it obvious that you're not a bot, because the bots on these websites are insane. Even on Instagram, I get like bots like all the time being like, "Hey, I found you on Tinder. My profile is completely private." But yeah, I don't know why Instagram is the way it is. It's really annoying. And then if you don't want to go through the process of going through commission and you just want to give me a one-time donation, I do have my PayPal link down below. I'd really appreciate just anything you could drop in there. You know, it just makes my time feel appreciated, and you know, just make it more obvious that, you know, people like what I do on these streams. You know, like I'm gonna do whatever I want on these streams because I just like being able to share my art. But, you know, any little thing that you can give to help me out really just makes me feel appreciated in a very unique way. So yeah, check that out down below. Let me turn on these layers so I can have a good progress photo. Just a second. No, sorry, I'm just changing things around so I get a good photo for the color. Let me absorb the color because I just realized I completely deleted colors that I did have. Color picker, temp current layer, this color right here. I'm just gonna make another background color. Fill bucket. Ah. There we go, a little bit brighter. Now he really pops out there. Okay, so let me go and finish off. Thank you for being here, even if you were only here for a few minutes, or even if you're just watching the archive that goes up on my YouTube channel later. I really appreciate just anybody spending time just chilling out, talking to me about my art. Even if you don't speak English, I like just hanging out. You can spam emotes in chat all you want. It makes me feel great. It's fun. I like Twitch emotes, all the Pog champs, all the little anime characters. It's just a very silly way to communicate, and I enjoy it. Yeah, thank you. Also on the YouTube side of things, I really appreciate anybody just spending time and checking out my art. You know, like I'd like to do this for me, but I also really like when people can enjoy what I do. You know, it just feels great being able to share this stuff. But yeah, with that, thank you. Goodbye. Hope you guys have a good night. Bye-bye. 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 Bye.